Page for Monday, April 25th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's seeming glide path to the speakership has hit some turbulence. Joseph Clark, Tom Howell, and Seth McLaughlin report the Californian's latest stumble involves his actions following the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol last year. McCarthy said to party leaders on January 10, 2021, that he planned to tell then-President Trump that the impeachment resolution brought against the president in the House would likely pass and that Trump should resign. McCarthy called that reporting by the New York Times totally false and wrong, and then Times reporters backed up what they had by releasing an audio recording of McCarthy saying those exact words. It's another slip-up for the minority leader as Republicans are expected to retake the House following November's midterm election. McCarthy is still the leading candidate to be Speaker, but now will have to manage skeptical pro-Trump loyalists on his right flank while fending off attacks from across the spectrum over another political stumble. A spokesman for McCarthy did not respond to a request for comment. Defense Secretary Lloyd and Secretary of State Antony Blinken secretly made a trip over the weekend to Ukraine. Guy Taylor reports the tandem made a covert visit to the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv, the highest-level visit by a U.S. delegation since the Russian invasion of Ukraine began. The Biden administration didn't reveal details of the visit until after Austin and Blinken had returned from meeting late Sunday night with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Blinken said the pair took a train from Poland into the country and met with Zelensky for 3 hours at his presidential residence. Austin said one of the U.S.'s goals in responding to the war is to erode Russia's ability to carry out future military actions. He added the U.S. is doing everything that we can to help provide Ukrainian forces with the types of artillery and munitions that will be effective in this stage of the fight. A report from the Government Accountability Office has found that the Border Patrol has been undercounting migrant deaths along the U.S.-Mexico boundary for years. The revelation, our Stephen Dinan reports, is something immigrant rights activists have long asserted was the case. The GAO found in eastern Arizona, a particularly deadly part of the border, the government's count was off by more than 50% from independent tallies. Investigators said Customs and Border Protection, which oversees the Border Patrol, keeps a tally of the remains of migrants its personnel find, a record 557 last year, but it struggles to account for cases where some other entity finds remains. Homeland Security Department officials said they are trying to make improvements. Activists on the ground said they'll believe it when they see it. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Also a reminder that you can subscribe to our podcast on any major podcast platform. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed a bill to end Walt Disney World's autonomous tax district in Central Florida. Susan Ferricchio reports the legislation ending the Reedy Creek Improvement District and other similar districts in the state eliminates Disney's special authority over 39 square miles in Orange and Osceola counties that include the Disney theme parks and resorts. The bill eliminating the special district doesn't go into effect until next year, leaving time for the two counties to put a plan into place for managing the park or for the state legislature to pass a bill reconstituting the district. Disney fell out of favor with DeSantis last month when the company publicly objected to the Parental Rights in Education Act, dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill, which prohibits sex education before the 4th grade. And finally, for nearly 30 years after the demise of the Soviet Union, soldiers from California have had a close working relationship with Ukraine as part of the National Guard State Partnership Program. Mike Glenn details the friendship and partnership between the two, which have had about 1,000 opportunities to work with each other over the past 27 years. The California Guard soldiers, many of them combat veterans with tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, trained the Ukrainians on various skills from the basics of small unit tactics to larger joint operations. They also helped Ukraine develop a capable corps of non-commissioned officers, the sergeants in militaries who are crucial for accomplishing missions. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us on any major podcast platform. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.